Hi, I'm Allan Colefax from Casuarina Beach, New South Wales, Australia. John's asked me to tell you about my miracle story. Coming on 2 years ago now, I had a wonderful week in June. My wife was heavily pregnant and due to have my fourth, her first. And my oldest son that week was marching out of boot camp with the RAF, Australian Air Force, and I was due to fly to Wagga to watch his proud day marching out. Tiffany went into labour 2 days before, and my baby Coco was born on the 3rd of June. Jakey's march out was on the 4th of June. So I was there for the birth of Coco, and then flew out bright and early the next morning to see Jakey march out. I was on a very tight schedule to fly to Wagga. Had to catch a plane from the Gold Coast to Sydney, then Sydney to Wagga to see Jake's parade at 11 o'clock. Plane was delayed getting off the ground at Coolangatta early in the morning, and calculating my flights, I had about 3 minutes to grab my flight out of Sydney to Wagga. It just wasn't going to happen. I asked the flight staff what's happening, and they said, well, hopefully they'll be delayed. The reason we're delayed is because of fog in Sydney. So you might be lucky, you might catch it. Buckled up with fingers crossed, expecting a miracle. And then the flight crew came on the radio, welcoming us on board, telling us about the flight, and I thought I recognised the voice. It so happened that the co-pilot making the announcement was my good friend, surfing buddy and next door neighbour, Jamie. And I thought, oh geez, there's a chance here. So I inquired, and they confirmed yes, it was Jamie in the front cabin. And I said, can you get him a message telling him that Alan's on board, Coco's been born, I've got to get to Wagga. They told him. He rang through to Sydney, arranged a boarding pass for my joining flight. In Sydney, I was rushed out first out of the plane, straight up some steps, straight down the steps at the very other side of the terminal. Last person on the little flight to Wagga, and I made Jakey's marching out. So that was my miracle, that there was a lot of things happening there for me to get there. So I saw Jakey's march out, flew back home and joined Tiffany and Coco back at the hospital that afternoon. But John doesn't know about this little extra piece of this miracle. Coco's the miracle baby, because after I had my first three, I'd put the cue back in the rack, and I'd had a vasectomy. I met Tiffany, fell in love, and she wanted a baby, so I had a reconnection to have little Coco with about a 40% success rate. So there was an even further twist to that miracle. So Coco is my little miracle.